gentlemen of the press. It is my pleasure to address you on this occasion of the launching of the second phase of the Peasant Farmers Program and the presentation of cheques to the beneficiaries of the Ekiti State Peasant Farmers Development Loan Scheme. Today, we are presenting cheques to 400 new farmers, as well as releasing the balance of loans to the 250 old participants. The vision of this government is to make poverty history in our state. Agriculture offers the fastest route to poverty eradication and wealth creation. This occasion is part of the efforts of this administration to challenge the unacceptable level of poverty among our peasant farmers in the state. The precarious situation of some of our farmers is further compounded by the escalating prices of farm inputs across the nation. This scheme is therefore packaged to tackle the menace of lack of access to funds, which had been a major militating factor against agricultural development in Nigeria, Ekiti State inclusive. The state government is conscious of the effect of this on food production and its negative consequences on our people, hence the need to pioneer the interest-free loan for agricultural production. Consequently, each of the beneficiaries of the scheme will today receive a loan of 150,000 naira without interest. To enable them cultivate at least 2 hectares of arable crops to be followed by the introduction of permanent crops. There is, at present, a sharp decline in the establishment of permanent crops as well as the production of dependable cash crops. This administration has therefore decided to continue to strengthen the Peasant Farmers Development Program in the state to ensure that more farmers, especially the young ones, plan their future earnings by establishing cash crops plantation. Cash crop plantations in cocoa, in oil palm, in cashew, and so on and so forth. You will all recall that agriculture is a major plank of the 8-point agenda of this administration. We have to date paid 160 million naira as counterpart fund for the various agricultural programs of the State Agricultural Development Program and the World Bank Fadana scheme. The repairs of broken down tractors and implements and purchase of new sets at over 150 million is ongoing. I spent part of last week with the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. And I was able, to the glory of God, to get from them a pledge that henceforth Ekiti State would become a major priority for the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. For the first time in the history of the state, more than 8,000 tons of fertilizer has been made available at 50% subsidy to our numerous farmers. I made it a point, because I've heard so much about fertilizer racket in Ekiti State. I made it a point to monitor every single person who had applied for fertilizer and ensure that they received what was due to them. And those who had tried to manipulate the system, I also monitored them very closely. Many of you gave me information. Several of you sent me text messages about what you felt was going wrong with the distribution mechanism. And all of those information that I got, I checked out. And I can report that this year, whatever might have transpired in the past, I think the ministry tried its best to ensure that fertilizer got to the right quarters. But let me, however, add that I am one of those who really do not believe in fertilizer distribution by federal government. I believe it is one of those areas that is used in order to really reduce the advancement that we ought to have achieved in this sector. 65% of the federal budget goes on fertilizer in the Ministry of Agriculture, and this does not really get to our people. And when it gets to them, it is low quality fertilizer that does not do the job in the agricultural sector. So in my view, if the federal government is going to do well, this is one program it has to cancel. Whoever needs fertilizer should go to the private sector. If we as a government need, we will purchase from private sector and distribute to our farmers, rather than instead. In addition to this, efforts are on to make the existing farm settlements attractive to our youth for meaningful crop and animal productive ventures. This government is already working out the modalities with private investors and development partners to establish more farm settlements in the state that will enable us benefit from the new initiative that I imagine from the Central Bank of Nigeria on support to our small farm holders and major commercial farmers. These efforts will open up more land area and bring the farm centers closer to the people for modern and commercial agricultural production in the state. It is in addition to the above policy direction that a total of 400 farmers drawn from all the 177 wards in the 16 local government areas of the state have been painstakingly selected to benefit afresh from this loan scheme. These will bring to a total of 650 farmers that have benefited from this program to date. I, however, wish to state that the good gesture of the administration must be reciprocated. The reluctance of our people to repay loans earlier granted for numerous agricultural projects is not encouraging and will not be tolerated, as other farmers are being denied the opportunity of benefiting from the scheme. I am therefore using this medium to call on all our farmers and other beneficiaries of other loans to repay credit granted to them, as this is being run as a revolving loan scheme. I wish to emphasize that the state government will frown at any attraction for the misapplication of this loan for anything other than agricultural purposes. The government is particularly interested in the establishment of success stories in permanent crops such as cocoa and oil palm plantations in the state. The loan should therefore not be committed to other uses. Let me also seize this opportunity to express my own displeasure at the negative media the state has been receiving from a section of the farming community as a result of divisions within one of our bodies, AFA. The current government in Ekiti State, being the product of rule of law and the people's mandate, has absolutely no interest in imposing leaders on farmers. It is your sole prerogative to choose your leaders. We, however, will not be blackmailed by farmers who have their own hidden agenda to undermine the progress that we have been making in this sector. And let me, for the avoidance of doubt, state categorically, in case there are farmers here who believe the propaganda that has been peddled in the media, there is no 1 billion naira in Ekiti State to date for farmers to access. Yes, we are working on it and it shall soon be available, but the process of ensuring that this gets to farmers will be nothing but transparent and accountable, and will not go to any section alone in the interest of promoting political or other reasons. I believe that with good performance, the government will be encouraged to keep on funding this project, which is expected to ultimately result in established farmers with sustainable means of livelihood and significant contribution to the overall development of our state. It is now my pleasure to present the checks to the beneficiaries of this loan scheme to advance the cause of purposeful agricultural practice in Ekiti State. Thank you and God bless you. As I'm sure you understand, I cannot present checks to 400 farmers.
Hold it, please.
Mr. Alori is coming. Fire to the Mr. Ademu, David Olatumi.